Welcome to the Knox launch at Duxford.
When night chases the sun away, you remain. When light takes over the dark again, where do you stay?
So we've literally just finished setting up. Needless to say, the venue's looking amazing. I've had a shave, I've got my new shirt on. What could go wrong? So basically ready to invite our customers. We've got some real friends of the brand coming along as well, which I'd love to introduce you to. And hey, you're in Duxford, you're in the Imperial War Museum, and there's going to be some sick stuff. I literally can't wait to show you. But stealing off for 10 minutes from the launch, I have to show you this plane. This plane means quite a lot to me and my family personally. Well, my grandfather was a gunner in this. This is the Lancaster bomber. I'll try and get it in there for you. Big memories, well, not big memories, but I always remember my granddad telling me stories about him being in the Lancaster bombers, being a gunner. And luckily he survived the World War, and he really had a story to tell while he was still alive.
Alone at last, feel the pressure building up, you take my hand, we dance.
So since the start of the company, Jeff obviously in the early years was kind of on his own. He was making new projects, making new products, new innovations, and right from the very start we've had Kelvin, and this is who I'm introducing to you. This is Kelvin Nichols, and he's been a massive encouragement, friend to the brand. They're through thick and thin with Jeff, and you know, hey, I'm welcoming him today. So, hi Kelvin. Where did it all kind of start with your, relationship with Jeff? Where did it come from?
Let me think. It would have been around probably about 1978, I guess. I had a travelling stunt show. We were doing film stunt work and travelling to agricultural fairs and things of that nature. And obviously part of the business is falling off and obviously not wanting to hurt yourself. There wasn't really anything around that was of any use. There was one Swedish product which was designed for a different purpose, didn't really work. And I got wind of what Jeff was doing, and I travelled up to Luton to meet him. And he was kind enough to spend some time with me in the factory and show me the sort of products that he'd come up with. He was, told me his story. He was a motorcycle racer. His day job was in upholstery, so of course foams and materials and stitching was very much part of his remit. And he'd been working on making some foams which he could sort of pad his leathers out with, so that if, as invariably happens with motorcycle racing, you fall off, hopefully the damage would be minimal, and really that was the introduction to Jeff.
Yeah, and when we were talking to you before, you were saying it's quite rudimentary to begin with, right?
Oh yes, yeah.
Jeff at this point is a motorbike racer, and literally as Kelvin's saying, he's an upholsterer, he's a motorcycle racer. He's falling off and he's trying to find a solution, and I think Kelvin had a sneak preview in to the very first part of that, and yeah, it was pretty basic stuff, right?
It was indeed, yeah. I mean, Jeff come up with this almost fundamental concept of what became the standard for body armour for many years after that, which was making a hard-ish foam with a softer foam on the inside. The idea being that the hard foam on the outside would dissipate the energy, and the softer foam on the inside would sort of kind of spread the energy to hopefully minimise the impact. And at the time that I visited Jeff, or perhaps on a subsequent time when we took me through the factory, I saw his very straightforward, very simple manufacturing process, which involved these two foams, which obviously had to be stuck together. Jeff used to have great big pots of an adhesive which was really highly toxic. It stunk and it made your eyes water. And I'm sure health and safety wouldn't allow it these days, but nonetheless there was Jeff with his spreader, spreading this adhesive over one of the foams, placing the second foam on top, And he then had a large oxyacetylene cylinder which he'd filled with sand, and that was his roller. And he used to literally just roll that back and forth over the two foams then to spread the adhesive, get rid of the air bubbles, and that was the start of the laminated body armour, which fundamentally went on in that kind of vein for a long, long time, although obviously more modern materials are available to the company now.
Absolutely, and you know, if that's where we've started, things have progressed on and technology's come on, and you know, yet at the same time, you know, being a brand for 36 years now, you know, you need friends, and Kelvin has absolutely been there for Jeff. He's been a real inspiration, been a real you know, a real guy you could call on and rely on and help out, and we really appreciate that. So thanks so much for that, Kelvin.
Oh, no problem at all. It's been a pleasure. It was nice to think you were in kind of at the birth of something. It was very exciting to do that. Through my contacts as a photojournalist, I was able to help Jeff, and I should do press releases and things for him. It was just a great time, and as I say, very enjoyed to be in at the beginning of something. And obviously I've kept in touch with the family and the factory, and it's really exciting to see what they're doing now, and to have it progress from where it was in those days to the fantastic product that they're making now, and these amazing modern materials that do so many different things that you've never even dreamed of. Soft materials that can become hard when you hit them. Bizarre. Absolutely incredible. But yeah, from little acorns.
That's right. So Kelvin, going from stunt riding, now you're very, very involved with the, you know, with competitive karting, in fact international karting, scrutineering and on the management side of that, but also something that Kelvin does that's totally separate to this is Kelvin and his wife Josie run a fantastic charity out in the Philippines, and do some really great you know, work for people out there and children and schools and stuff like that. Kelvin, I mean, how can we find out a little bit more about that? And
it's obviously, as you say, Joe and I have been doing it for some years now. The easiest way, if you want to find out more information, is to go to our website, which is Philippines-schools- project.org. I had to think about that.
Yeah, I'll put a link in the description.
And we've got a Facebook page as well. And I have to say, just about all the money we raise each year comes from within the motorsport community. Obviously, it's the community from which I first met Jeff. How many did you say? 36 years ago?
36 years, yeah.
Goodness me. I mean, motor racing people of all descriptions are just the greatest people in the world. And as I say, they support Joe and I very much for the things we do today. We have a fundraising event each year, which is a motorsport themed event where we drive karts at Butmore Park Circuit in Kent. And motor racing people are great people. You should meet some.
Hey, thanks again for coming. Really appreciate it.
No problem. My pleasure, Aaron. Take care.
Okay. So it's been a great day here. We've met a lot of customers. Thanks to everybody who turned out. I'm in the main hangar. Right here we've got a Concorde to my left. We've finished up the day. It's been a wicked venue. It's been the practice for the Battle of Britain, so we've seen some great planes as well, seen some Spitfires in the sky. You know, a great place to launch our 2018 collection. Next stop is at Edinburgh, so look forward to seeing you there. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe for more, and see you next time.